Hello, and I am Lane the Sleuth, and we are talking again about the Casebook of Arne, because if you guys remember the last episode, I said don't judge the show by one episode, because the first episode is very confusing and very badly paced. It didn't make any sense, and spoiler alert, Lewis did not come back. He is dead in universe as of right now. So but this is a flashback episode. This episode, or this case specifically, because it's episodes 2 through 5, deals with Lynn's past. So maybe Lewis is still alive, and you just don't know yet. But Lynn is one of Arnie's assistants, and she met him because her father was murdered, and her father is going to leave the house to him. I forget exactly how she found him, but for whatever reason, she found him and she asked him for help. Of course, she also did not believe in the occult, but she knows she needs help with this, and so she invites him to the house along with his assistant, a little, basically what I can describe as a femboy who lives in a snow globe and can basically access any information point and any mirror, essentially. So the suspects this case are the gardener, whose name I don't remember, Diane, who, oh god, what is Diane's role? I don't remember Diane's role, and I didn't watch it. That I have a very bad memory. But Diane, the gardener, who are in love, and it's made very clear that they're in love. Burnt, who is the security guard, Elise, who is the maid, and Gordon, who is the butler. And they give Arnie their alibis, and this is one of the things that bothers me. Their alibis mostly are very shaky. Uh, Basically, Burns' alibi is solid because he couldn't have done it because everybody would have heard him moving around. Elisa's alibi is that, or how they break it, that she could have done it, is that if she had moved through the vents, because she went through the vents and then the vents would have been dustier, less dusty. But my feeling about that is, like, dust settles, and unless you're like actively cleaning the vents, then you would have had the dust would have settled and it would have still been there. So they established that she couldn't have done it because of that, and I'm like, that's not a reason. Like, that's not an established reason. Diane's alibi is that she couldn't have done it because she's afraid of heights, and that she couldn't have got down the ladder. My argument is that, one, she could have had her boyfriend do it and carry her down the ladder. Two, she could have put down the ladder and had him go down himself and do it, so she wouldn't have had to go down. She could have had somebody else do it. Or three, she could have just instructed somebody else to do it in the house. Because my initial thought with this is they were all in collaboration and they were all the culprit. I was wrong, and I'm actually very impressed that I was wrong, because the actual truth is that the person who did it because mirrors can't see him, because, spoiler alert, Gordon is a vampire. Now, I admit, I was like, oh, I did not expect that, but that actually makes sense, because in this universe, vampires exist, and cases are generally supernatural, so why not have the case be supernatural? And it also makes sense because it's why Lynn didn't suspect him, because she loves him very much, and so of course she's not going to think it was him. In fact, she's fighting very hard for it not to be him. And his reasoning's even more insane. So I assumed that, like, he was trying to resurrect her mother because her mother died, or that maybe he was trying to take over the house. Nope. The lore of the show is that Arnie had 9 vampires gave him their hearts, and for whatever reason, right now he only has 1. So presumably this is his last one, and if he loses it, he dies. Gordon is trying to resurrect one of the vampires whose heart belonged to Arnie. Why he's doing this, I don't know. I guess he's just a loyal, freaky servant thing. But I will admit, that's kind of interesting. I don't hate it, actually. It's not terrible. Also, that vampire, when he resurrects, is voiced by Yuki Shin. And we already got Yuki Shin and Gashi Yakata voicing a nut job, so why not have him voice another one? And unlike Nobuhiko Okamoto, when he voices a nut job, he doesn't have a screamy laugh that gets very, very annoying. And I like Nobuhiko Okamoto, don't get me wrong, he's very, very talented, but that laugh gets very old very quickly. And we will get to that show, by the way. Not Index, but the show he's in currently. But yeah, so Arnie kills him and takes the heart, and Lin comes with him. And I will admit, this was actually a very solid case. Investigation was very well done. I like the fact that they had actual reasonings behind things. Admittedly, some of those reasonings did not make sense to me, and they didn't work. But you know what? It's all good. It's better than the first case. I also look forward to seeing more of Amy, and I also look forward to seeing whether or not Lewis comes back, because Lewis is in the wiki, so I'm assuming he's going to come back. But other than that, the show is a solid 7 for now.